Hey guys, Dr. Mo here, and welcome back to the channel. Today we have a young man with us that's going to talk to us about his experience with being incarcerated. Can you please introduce yourself?
Yes, how you doing? I'm Calvin. I'm from Columbia, South Carolina.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about your upbringing.
Had it rough, man. Grew up rough neighborhoods, projects. Times growing up, we ain't have lights. We ain't have no water. Water get cut off. Mother gotta do things that's illegal just so we can eat. Father, not in my life that much, you know what I'm saying? So it's basically like my mother taking care of like 3 kids by herself. And it's like rough. It's like we grew up rough.
How old were you when you were convicted?
My first conviction, I think I was like 13.
13?
Yes.
And what were you convicted of at that time?
Burglary second.
Okay, and burglary second. And then how long were you incarcerated at?
I went to juvie. I was incarcerated like 12 to 18 months.
Okay, and then you were arrested again.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about what happened.
Due to the situation, like growing up in rough neighborhoods, you know, you ain't got things that other people got, you know what I'm saying? So you less fortunate, so you try to do things that could substitute for the lack of you not having and you wanting. So you just try to make things happen on your own, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it don't be the best route, you know what I'm saying? It used to be illegal, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times we don't have the knowledge of how to do what's right, you know what I'm saying? How to go about it the right way. Due to the lack of fathers not being in our lives, not being in family lives because of being incarcerated or being deceased, you know what I'm saying? So the lack of fathers and families is the off balance of African generation, you might as well say.
Okay, and when you were incarcerated this last time, what were your charges?
Possession of a weapon during a violent crime.
Okay, and how long were you sentenced for?
Mandatory 3 for that.
Okay, and did you do the whole 3?
Yes, I did the whole 3.
Okay, and would you say that it was a hard 3 or was it,
yes.
Was it okay?
This was the hardest bid. That was the hardest bid of my life. Like, during that time right there, I did time at Trenton, I did time at Kershaw, I did time at Allendale. Evans was the worst yard I did time at. Them last, like, I did 7 years and 9 months, and that was kind of like, you know, roller coaster.
So explain to us, you caught 3 years, but you ended up doing 7 years.
No, altogether I caught 18.
Okay.
18 nonviolent.
Okay, 18 nonviolent.
Yeah, my third bid.
Okay, and so a little bit about the day that you were sentenced. Can you remember the day that you were sentenced and how you felt?
The day I was sentenced was the most excruciating, humiliating, lonely, heartbroken feeling I ever felt, you know, because 1, I'm getting taken away from my family for a long time, and 2, I was only like 19 at the time, 20. I was young, you know, and I ain't never did a long amount of time. And 3, the reason why I was so mad is because I had a black judge, a black woman judge, and her husband was the mayor, you know what I'm saying? So he was strict on certain crimes. So
how would you say your first day incarcerated, what would you say your feelings were from a mental health standpoint?
I felt like I was on a deserted island.
So you felt isolated?
Isolated, I ain't gonna say nervous, I could say nervous. I ain't gonna say no fear, but like curiosity, I was curious, you know what I'm saying? I felt motivated because it have your adrenaline rushing because you never know what to expect. So it keeps you on your toes, you know what I'm saying? It opened up more of your sensory cells, might as well say.
So day 1 going in, you get there, and how were you processing?
Like cows on the farm about to get milk.
So it was more than when you went in, how many guys went in with you?
About one at a time, about 10 dudes probably go in, and they probably one person get their hair cut while the other person, about 3, 4 dudes, 5 dudes go to the shower. You got a script, but you got to stay in your boxes. At one point in time, you had to script butt naked in front of other dudes, and they had to stop that because you had gay COs too, and you had gay inmates.
So people could potentially, they just didn't, that was an uncomfortable situation.
Uncomfortable, and it was against our human rights. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was against our rights because as inmates, you got rights too, just like citizens on the street, you got rights.
Okay. Would you say that you were one of those people that when you got to your pod or your building or where you were doing your time, were you one that when you arrived, were you hard? Were you timid? Did you become hard? I mean, what was your presentation at the time?
All right. My first bid I did time, I think I only did like a year. And that time right there, that was like the gladiator school, miniature gladiator school for me, you know. But after that, like when I caught my third bid, that's when things started getting real, you know what I'm saying? Like when I first came to prison, you know what I'm saying? It was like smooth, a little smooth. I ain't got into too many fights, you know what I'm saying? I was cool. Everybody know me, you know what I'm saying? I was good business, I was good people. So it wasn't until I caught my third bid and I went to Evans and everything changed, like the tension, the personalities, the energy changed. Like it was a more of a level 3 mindset. Like get your man type, don't let him talk to you like this. You got, if this happens, you gotta do this. If you don't do this, you're a punk. Or if this, you know what I'm saying, gangs infested, you know what I'm saying? So
you had to fight?
Had to fight. Yes, I'd have been in 5, 6, 7 fights.
Were they fights that you could have avoided or you had to fight?
A lot of times well, I ain't gonna say a lot of times, I could say in the prison where I was, I could say 45% of the time you can dodge a situation, you know what I'm saying? 30% of the time. Because if you just dodge one situation and the wrong person see you, it makes you look weak to certain people, even though you trying to be the bigger man, you know what I'm saying, things like that. A lot of times you gotta become a wolf in your environment. If not, you gonna get ate.
How were your living conditions?
I mean, it was prison, you know, so us as creative beings, you know what I'm saying, we use the space we have, you'll utilize it to our utmost, you know what I'm saying? So we could have a little 12 by 12 cell, but in our imagination, this a castle. And do the best you can do to get through your situation, you feel me? It's all a mind thing. I think it's like 90% mental, 10% physical to me. So it's more mental than physical.
What would you say were the 3 most horrifying things that you experienced or saw while you were in prison?
One, I would say, hanging himself would be the most excruciating thing, the top on my list, you know. So I seen a dude hang himself right next door to my cell, and that would be the most excruciating thing. Another one would be, it might be small, but like in prison, the AC units and don't be running that good. So like in the summertime, it might be 100 degrees outside, Fahrenheit, you know what I'm saying? So you might be in a cell with no AC. It's 100 degrees outside. You see what I'm saying? So your cell is basically becoming a bomb because it's getting so hot, you know what I'm saying? And walls start sweating and everything. You ain't got no AC or nothing. And they just walking around letting you like die of dehydration or die of lack of water or lack of air type, like little crazy scenarios. Like that's another scenario I don't like being locked in a room, locked in a cage with no air. And it's hot, 100-something degrees. Like that's another thing. It's just little simple things like the food that they used to serve. Like one time I seen somebody get a tray and they had maggots in the cabbage. You see what I'm saying? So you gotta watch what you eat on that part, you feel me? So it's so many things that just, when you get like, everybody different, you feel me? But if you pay attention and open your eyes and start becoming aware of your surroundings and what's going on, you'll start to see like, it's set up for you to fail. It's set up for you to fail, but it's a solution to it. And you just gotta put your mind to it and just overcome it.
Speaking of your mind, have you seen anybody just have a mental breakdown or suffer mental illness while incarcerated?
Plenty of people. I done seen COs suffer breakdowns. I done seen inmates suffer breakdowns. I done seen inmates stab each other. I done seen inmates choke each other. I done seen roommates fight each other over what somebody said on the internet. Like, I done seen brothers stab each other. It's just, it's wild and it's sad. Like, that's not a place I wouldn't ever want to wish on nobody. I did my time, I learned my lesson, and it's best just to move on and just obey the law, like do the right thing. That way you ain't gotta worry about going to places like that.
Do you think that prison has had a negative impact on your mental health? And if so, how has it?
I say a 50-50 chance. It's 50-50 with me because I believe in balancing things, you know what I'm saying? So I say it's 50% good, 50% bad, And I balance it all together where it just level everything out to okay. You know, like, I got through it, I learned from it, you know what I'm saying? So it's a blessing, man. Like, it's a blessing to make it through situations people can't never, ever leave. Like, it's sad. People got life sentences, people got 900 years, like, people got 800, get sentenced to numbers that, you feel me? Like, you'll never see that.
Would you say that while you were incarcerated, you were rehabilitated, you received programs, treatment, things that will help you adapt to life outside of prison?
Definitely, like, when I was at Allendale, I went there and I became a certified teacher's assistant. And I help individuals get their GEDs, inmates get their GED, learn how to read, learn how to write. I did that. Also, I used to tutor. I had my own classes, my own education classes, helping inmates get their GEDs and things like that. I took 2 semesters of Spanish, so I'm bilingual. You know, I can speak a little Spanish, you know what I'm saying? So I learned that from being in prison. So it's basically like, some people say it's a university in itself. You know, it's up to you to what you apply. You know what I'm saying? Like, prison them broke people and prison them fix people. You feel me? So it's up to you. You know what I'm saying? It's all up to you.
What would you tell others to prevent them from going to prison?
Listen, prison is not a place you want to be, and this from experience. I could tell you a million times, a million people can tell you a million times that this ain't what it is until you see for yourself. But this video is to help you not see for yourself, to see from people that been through that situation, to keep you from going down that route so you can have a better life and help support your family and not be left victim or just left behind, period. So definitely, it's pros and cons.
When were you released?
December the 1st, 2022.
Okay, and since you were released, what have you been doing to stay positive?
Like, I'm big on like landscaping, carpentry, building things like that, mechanic work. So I applied for a technical college. I'm going to school now. I went to real estate school, I'm certified in real estate sales certifications. Brought brought 1 box truck, about to get another box truck, about to start this multi-purpose building. It's like so much going on business-wise that's legit. You know, you can get your business license. You can network with other people that's networking and do advertising, marketing. It's so many ways to get paid. Like, social media now, that's a big plus right there. People getting paid off that, like, legally. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to go out, pick up guns, sell drugs, or nothing like that. Cause like, growing up, back in the day, like, I was born in 1989, so I mostly caught the 90s. I caught all the 90s, so it was rough back then, like, people selling drugs, doing this and doing that, negative things, you know what I'm saying? But I don't judge nobody, you feel me? But we gotta teach our youth and the next generation that's growing up, like, how to do the right thing and how to carry themselves, how to uplift their own race, how to just be a positive person in life and spread that good energy, you know what I'm saying, where the world can be a better place.
All right, well, thanks a lot for your insight and your knowledge. We greatly appreciate it. I'm sure it will help many others. Thanks again.
Yes, sir, anytime.